a couple of weeks ago, something that very, very rarely happens in the gaming industry happened. A studio decided to listen to their players and to put their players first, not with words or token statements like, oh, we are listening to your feedback, or we're balancing the game because people find it too easy or too difficult. No, with actions. And not just any action, with a huge gamble, because this is what the players want. So let's talk about it a little bit. You know, when I saw the first trailer for the first Lords of the Fallen, not the 2013 one, the remake, on 2023, I was astonished. Not only the armor of the knight that showed up in the trailer was absolutely incredibly cool, but it looked like that Souls-like that actually may reach the heights of Dark Souls. Well, it didn't actually reach those heights. To be fair, that is very hard, especially for the makers of the genre, From Software. I bought Lords of the Fallen on the first day, and I played it when it released. Now, it was a little bit rough around the edges, but it was a very interesting experience. The new mechanic with the lamp that you can change between two different worlds. It had a lot of work to be done, but the core game to me was amazing, but mostly the aesthetic, as it puts dark into dark fantasy. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I played it to its completion, and then I played it again when the 2.0 version came out with a friend, because they managed to stabilize the online co-op, so it has completely seamlessly cooperative experience. You could learn a thing of two from Soft, I'm just saying. And I played it again, loved it. The game was massively improved for the 2.0 version, and it was a treat to explore. After that, I've kind of lost track. I knew the sequel was in development. I remember seeing it or hearing about it a couple of years ago, like some time ago. But I kind of lost track of it, you know, in the same vein that, oh yeah, that game's coming up, and you don't see anything from it, so you kind of forget until a new trailer comes out. So a month or two ago, for some reason I remember, and I was like, oh yeah, Lords of the Fallen 2, okay. I don't know if it was a trailer or something, but I was like, oh, great. So I went to Google and I searched Lords of the Fallen 2 Steam, just to go to the webpage. And when I searched for it, I was met with such a massive disappointment. I didn't realize how much I was hoping for the game until I saw the news articles. You see, Lords of the Fallen 2 was to be an Epic Games Store exclusive, meaning it was not coming to Steam. It was coming to PS5, Xbox, and the Epic Games Store. I cannot describe with words my disappointment. I think it's been quite a while since I've been actually that disappointed by a video game news. Just to get it out of the way, I am a Steam fanboy, okay? But that doesn't mean I look blindly to Steam, but I do think Steam is the golden standard for a gaming storefront of any kind, and for putting players and customers first. Okay, I've seen it time and time again. I have nothing inherently against the Epic Games Store, as in the fact that it exists. My problem with the Epic Games Store is they try to bring, and they keep trying to bring, exclusive games to PC, only to realize that, well, that ain't happening. Team, it ain't happening, and you're bleeding money, so I would rather stop. So you understand my position. I think exclusivity deals are some of the most anti-consumer practices, pretty much everywhere, but especially in gaming. Now, I can be a little bit more lenient with first-party exclusivity because, sure, the companies like Nintendo or PlayStation, they use the games to try to get people to buy the hardware. And since they are putting the money for everything, I mean, yeah, I guess I can tolerate it. Ideally, I would prefer that every game was released in every platform and you could just choose the console or PC that you like the most. That's it. Of course, that's in realistic terms. That is, kind of impossible. I wish that was the case, in an ideal world. Sadly, that's probably never going to happen, but still. However, for third-party games, to me, it's an absolute and complete deal breaker. Not only is an anti-consumer practice, it is one of the cheapest ways that you can try to funnel players to your platform. Because it takes away, you're no longer competing in the quality of your services or the quality of your product. You're competing simply because, oh, you want to play this? Well, you have to play it here, no matter how shitty the experience is. And I want to make something clear. If you can only get something from one source, that source controls everything about the product. I'll give you the best example I can think of right now. Let's say you wanted to play a non-shit version of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You know, a version that wasn't so horribly optimized. So your options were play the shit version on the Switch or watch a playthrough on YouTube. I bought that game on day one. Okay, I even stood in line to get it. And while I really liked the game, it ran like absolute shit. However, that was the only choice. Maybe you can see my point. Anyway, I digress. I'm rambling a little bit too much. So I was extremely disappointed to see this, and I was, well, very sad because I really was hoping for the game. I really wanted to play it. Oh yeah, I remember. It was the conversation what reminded me about Lords of the Fallen 2. It was a conversation about the female armor that someone in some outlet, I don't know if it was the gamer or PC gamer, had a problem with it because of course they do. Because it was quote unquote too sexy or it showed too much skin, you know, usual suspects. That kind of, I saw it on Twitter and it kind of reminded me of it. So I was very disappointed. And listen, CI Games is a studio that actually listens to player feedback and are actually good at listening to player feedback. Because you have studios that listen to player feedback, implement everything that players say, and then they end up with a worse game. But CI Games knows how to filter the feedback and knows what to put in, what to change and put in, and what to ignore. They did that with the first Lords of the Fallen. Famously, the CEO of CI Games put the poll, what do you guys prefer, body type A or B, or male or female, or other? And it was like, from like 50,000, it was like 45,000 male or female. And they did put it, and they took a stand against against political correctness in their game. They didn't want to put political messaging in their games, and I respect them for it, and I respect them for listening to the feedback, and they did a good job with the first game. And they're continuing that with the second game. And it's all well and good. Okay, you're listening to players, and they learn the lesson that many studios have not learning, that the players that are telling you this actually buy your game if you're listening to them. And a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them won't buy it if you disregard their concerns for your game. I think CI Games is fantastic. So I was baffled that Lords of the Fallen 2, after the original was released on Steam, was going to be an Epic Games exclusive. And I've been mulling about it for a month or two. At the time, I thought I'm going to make a video about it. I was going to make a video. For some reason, I didn't. I was like, oh yeah, well, at some point, because I think it's a very important thing. You can add all the costumes that you want. You can change all the body type things that you want. But those are things that are far less important to me than something like an exclusive deal. Especially when you're a third-party game that originally was on Steam. So I thought it was, for the players' speech, this was a blatant anti-consumer move from their part. I was shocked. And I was going to trash them. I was going to say that I'm not buying this game, and no one should, and you just should wait for the Steam release whenever that comes. And a couple of weeks ago, something that I can't remember seeing ever, maybe has happened, I don't know, I can't think of it right now, but the CEO of CI Games, Marek Tymiński, I'm going with that. Sorry if it's not. He went onto Twitter and he did an update on the publishing of Lords of the Fallen 2. And he announced that CI Games has signed a separation agreement with Epic Games Publishing. As a result, CI Games has regained full open distribution rights for the PC version of Lords of the Fallen 2, moving away from the previous PC-exclusive publishing arrangement signed in June 2024. And I had to read that several times. I saw it on like a news article, like passed me by, and I was like, "Oh, this has to be fake." Like I actually thought it was fake. I went to look it up, and I saw the announcement, and I was blown away. Like, are you kidding me? They're actually doing that. Like I said, one thing is to add a certain style of armor to your game because that's what players want. One thing is changing text on the game because that's what players want. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate those things. And I wish more studios did that. But this is actual actions that are for their players. But they're also turning away from a safety cushion. You know, as they put in the statement, like many in the industry, CI Games faced challenging market conditions in 2023 and 2024, and Epic Games provided significant funding and strategic support that helped ensure Lords of the Fallen 2 could fully realize its ambitions. This partnership enabled CI Games to meaningfully expand upon community feedback from the original Lords of the Fallen while substantially advancing the sequel across gameplay, technical performance, world design, and online functionality. One thing you need to understand about these exclusivity deals with the Epic Games Store. They not only provide you with money for publishing, they not only handle all the aspects of publishing, but they give you a lot of technological know-how. Okay, it's not just funding that you get, and they're turning that away because the players want options. Choosing to self-publish the game in all platforms, don't get me wrong. In my opinion, doing this, it's probably more profitable for CI Games. CI Games is the only studio, it's one of the few studios I can think of that are actually putting players first. And of course, they do it because they understand that they're going to make more money. And make no mistake, while the potential to make a lot more money is there, first and foremost, the game needs to be good. It needs to be, at the very least, at minimum, as good as the 2.0 version of the original. Well, there was a 2.4 version, but I consider the 2.0 like the baseline where the game was actually really good. Before that, it was just like good. It's good.
Not great, not terrible.
If it's as good as that, I think the players will support them happily. I'm more than happy to buy the game. You know, it's very easy to criticize video game companies. And believe me, they actually make it a lot easier when they make shitty decisions, when they release half-baked products for full price, when they increase the price of their consoles, when they increase the price of their games, when they shut down games people bought and paid for. It's easy to criticize. There are things to criticize every day. But at the same time, when the companies do good stuff, actual good for the players' decisions, and they decide to take what is essentially a gamble on their players, that they're going to show up because we're listening to them. They're telling us, we want to play on Steam, okay? We're going to make it happen. It should be celebrated. I think CI Games is doing something incredible, and I wish more companies would do that. For now, although we still don't have a actual release date, there is a rumor that is in August, but it's still tracking to come out on 2026. So I am very excited to play it on Steam. And if you want to buy it on the Epic Games Store, it's going to be available as well. Like I said, I wish every game could run perfectly on every platform, and all you had to choose is which platform you like the most. So anyway, I thought this was such a fantastic thing. Although it happened a few weeks ago, I really wanted to talk about it because I think it's such a fantastic decision. And again, the whole armor, sexy armor thing and the body type, whatever, while I enjoy that they listen to their players and that they do these things because it's what players want, those things pale in comparison to turning down an exclusivity deal so more players can buy your game. And I think this is fantastic, and it should be celebrated. All that remains at this point, honestly, is that the game comes out and it runs well, hopefully, and it's good. That's it. At this point, I think you can compensate Even if the game came out in the state that the base game came out of the first one, which again wasn't great, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't great. I think they would be okay. But hopefully the game is good. And yeah, we need to get more studios, more developers to actually listening to players, to doing things for their players. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening, because I really think we should talk more about these things when they happen. Tell me what you think about this. Did you play the original? Were you planning to buy the sequel? Are you going to buy it now? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. You may consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.